Yes, welcome back, everyone, my good friends, to the Wizard Factory podcast. It's been quite a long time, much too long in my opinion. We're going to be talking about what's been going on in all the meantime. Basically, just catching up like old friends that we are. My name is Logan Hart, and this episode 87. 8 is the number of new cycles, new beginnings, and infinity. 7 being the number of completion. So let's just think of this episode as the completion of the former version of this platform and a new beginning, a new cycle, if you will. The podcast has always been the flagship product or format of this platform. So it seemed only fitting that we bring it back in this new episode where I'm going to reveal what's been going on, what I've been up to, things I've been observing, what I've been learning and practicing personally, and setting the stage for this channel moving forward. I'm very excited to be back speaking with all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we dive in, go ahead and do me a huge favor. Like this video, show YouTube, hey, we're back, you're excited about it, and push the video out through the algorithm to show new people and reach as many people as possible. I very much appreciate that. If you're new here and you're not a subscriber, subscribe below and hit that bell notification to make sure you don't miss any of the brand new content I'm going to be coming out with very soon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. So what have I been up to? Well, quite a lot. It's been quite a journey, quite the adventure, lots and lots and lots of struggles, challenges, victories, lessons hard earned, leveling up, doing the fucking work. So let's start things off first and foremost. For those unaware, you may notice it's just me on this video. If you're wondering why that is, go back onto the channel and watch the last video that I just uploaded where I explain everything that happened and why I'm going to be taking over and essentially moving forward with this platform as a solo project from here out. That's really all I want to say about that at this point. I made that video for the purpose of putting everything you need to know, if you're so interested in it, to inform you, the viewer, of what happened there. And from here out, I'm just going to be moving forward with it and not continuing to dwell on that stage, that event, everything that happened there. Just trying to move forward with a positive mindset and the best intentions possible. So let's talk about some things that I've been observing out in the world, things that have been transpiring, events, trends, behavioral patterns, I guess you could say. We're going to look at some of the positive and some of the negative, because there's a lot of both, to be fair. There's a lot of both going on. On one hand, I see more division than ever. That's very concerning, very disturbing. I can't say I'm all that surprised. There are very specific and intentional things being done to further just split, each faction into sub-factions and so on and so forth until we're all just like completely separated. And over the most trivial things, in my opinion. I mean, of course, there's some things that are valid, and there should be division to a point, right? There is a division between those who value truth and those who prefer to live in illusion, and those who honor and understand the principles of freedom, and those who do not, and they continue to either violate others or condone the violation of others. Those are very real divides. But then then on the other hand, you have all sorts of other issues. Like, God, there's so many that it's almost hard to wrap my head around. Obviously, flat Earth comes to mind. Got veganism, COVID, and even just these little cliques like high school among the different groups. You know, the freedom movement, the anarchists, natural law, whatever you want to call it. Just such petty behavior, in my opinion. I don't mean to come off to sound condescending. It's just deeply disturbing to me to see. Um, Personally, I feel that we should be approaching each other with more understanding and grace, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all just trying to learn. And sometimes people are going to be stubborn about things, and that's okay. You know, maybe they'll figure it out at some point, maybe they won't. But as long as you are able to employ healthy boundaries, there's no reason that we should be just blocking each other left and right, going on these smear campaigns and things like that. That's really, I mean, be honest, what is that really helping? Learn to set healthy boundaries and just move on with your life. I'm also completely flabbergasted that some people, not just some people, many people are still wearing masks, still playing this charade. I mean, it's been going on over 2 years now. And, I mean, even the media is not pushing the narrative so much like they were, but people are still so traumatized. You still see people driving alone with their masks on, or just out and about in the stores and things. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, I just can't believe that people actually still are buying that, still thinking about that, still living in that paradigm. I mean, it just goes to show how deep this psychological warfare really goes, when there is an overwhelming evidence that there was such an agenda driven by blatant lies that have just been completely exposed at this point. So it's just incredible to me, truly, that anyone is still buying any of it. And now we've got round 2 coming with the ape cooties, so to speak. You know, who knows where they're going to go with this or how far, but again, it's like they just literally proved themselves to be so full of shit on this whole last thing, destroying the economy, printing all this money, destroying so many small businesses that will never exist again, ruined people's lives. And now here comes this whole brand new thing. The question is, are people really going to go along with it after seeing the damage to society that occurred from the last round? We'll see. I don't really know. I mean, I'm not going to worry too much about it at this point. People are going to do what they're going to do anyways, but I'm just observing this, right? Just watching it unfold. So you still see the right versus the left paradigm going very strong. Even what comes to mind is people like J.P. Sears. You know, I really respect him in a lot of ways. I love his work. But even more like recently, he's just gone full-blown, you know, conservative, to the point where, I don't know, it's blatantly hypocritical in my opinion. He's pointing out all these truths and the lies of the media, but he's just saying it's the liberal-owned media, but conservatives are good and they care about truth. It's still just so one-sided, divide and conquer thinking. And you'd think somebody who seems fairly intelligent like him would understand this. So I mean, it always begs the question for me, does he know and he's just marketing to that demographic and playing the part? Or is he really under the same mind control as everyone else? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. I don't know. I honestly don't. But that bothers me because, again, otherwise I would have and do have, a lot of respect for him. But this just stands out like it's, a major discrepancy to me. Moving on. So, gender inversion and sexual confusion. It's just growing and growing and getting worse than ever. And really, in my opinion, our sexual polarity, our sexual power is one of our greatest power sources, which makes a lot of sense why they're attacking that so hard and trying to confuse everyone. Because much like a battery, when your positive and negative are not functioning properly, you have no power. You're completely inert. And this just seems to be getting worse and worse. And of course, you have the right exposing this. They get it. I'm not, picking sides, but there definitely does seem to be more, at least relatively more logical ability to discern, I guess you could say, these agendas here. You have, for example, this new film by Matt Walsh called What is a Woman? I watched it and really think it's very well done. I really enjoyed it. Another example, he's totally conservative, totally, they're all kind of banding together, even Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, The Daily Wire. I see something kind of happening there. I don't know exactly what yet, but it just seems more like more controlled opposition in some way. Or maybe am I being too tinfoil hat? I don't know. These are just some of my thoughts, right? You've got a lot of people in the truth community that, they understand what's happening, that external gnosis, right? But they're now stuck in this totally victim mindset, doom and gloom mindset. The Great Reset has already begun. There's nothing we can do to stop it. They've already won. All we can do now is just grow food and collect bullets, and who cares about anything else, right? Even if that were true, I just don't think that that's a healthy mindset to have in terms of just having a balanced perspective, living, not taking things so seriously, I guess you can say, and not treating everything as just another part of their agenda, like crypto, for example, NFTs, the metaverse. Yes, there's a very potentially dark side to some of that, but it's very much not this one-sided thing. So I plan on talking a lot more about that, but we'll get into that later. So on the other hand, you do see a lot more people stepping up, starting to make content, spreading truth. You see, more mainstreamy, TikTok videos and things like that of people that are well informed, and they're making great content that actually has mass appeal, but they're dropping truth bombs, and that's very encouraging to see, for sure. People are becoming more aware. They're changing their lifestyles and their choices accordingly. And many actually are moving towards solutions such as Freedom Cell Network, the Exit and Build programs. If you're not familiar with that, in fact, I plan on having guests on to speak about and promote these because they are very real solutions. I went to Float Fest this year. I actually went last year as well, but again, I went this year and I got really recharged and found a lot of encouragement in seeing those people there because, yes, all those things that I just expressed, people are very much that way, but then you go to an event like that and these people are here, They're not fucking around. They're very serious. They're there to get solutions, to get information, to find direction of how they can make their life more free and empowered and independent. And that's what we need right there. So again, I want to be having more guests on to talk about these things so that I can share some of that with all of you. Because there's really some great things happening. You know, it's not all bad. And that's really, really important to remember, to not get stuck in that doom and gloom mindset. So what have I been learning personally? Again, it's been quite a while. Even the content towards the end there was kind of very sparse, and I wasn't in a very good place personally. And I acknowledge that some of it was kind of scattered. So in the meantime, I've been learning a lot about relationships, communication, leadership, conflict resolution, things like that, having boundaries. We've talked about that on the channel before, but these things aren't just one and done. There's always more to be learned, and you come full circle to things with new understandings. It's great to start with things at a basic level, but don't just stay there. Come back and revisit it with new eyes. And there's always more to be gleaned and then applied, of course. Again, relationships in context to respect, abuse, narcissism, these kind of behaviors. I've learned a lot about shadow work, healing modalities, more, and things, that are more practical, and really you can do them anytime. There's really, you don't, in other words, you don't have to be paying thousands of dollars and going on ayahuasca retreats to achieve some form of healing. Yes, those things help, but it's extremely important to equip yourself with some of these tools that you could do anytime you need to, even if just not like prevented, like maintenance, just keeping yourself more stabilized and things like that. I've been getting really focused back on health and detoxification a lot lately. Both as, it's a good thing to look at, especially under the absolute, biological warfare that we're under, but as a matter of necessity for my own, showing signs of early signs of autoimmune issues and things that I've noticed. And I don't want to wait until my body's just totally breaking down to figure all this stuff out. So things like fasting, heavy metal detox, liver cleanse, colon cleanse, like basically learning how to reset your body and activate the intrinsic deep intelligence of the body to heal itself. It's not even so much that you're healing, you're just learning how to activate the deep intelligence of the body to heal itself. That's very, very important. Also, I've been studying a lot about polarity and masculine and feminine, communication. You could say gender roles, so to speak. That was very relevant in my relationship and something I'm still actively practicing. But it's a huge topic, and I think it's very important, and I would love to do more content on this. Is this something you would like to see? Let me know in the comments. And of course, as I've mentioned several times before, I have studied a lot about Web 3.0. If you're not familiar with that term, it's essentially the implementation of blockchain technologies combined with the internet to form the next iteration of the internet as we know it. Web 1 was the first, most rudimentary stage. Web 2 being the implementation of social media, becoming kind of like that standard platform of communication. And then blockchain, when applied with cryptocurrencies as well as NFTs, are bringing about this next generation of the internet. You can love it, you can hate it, but this is the nature of technology. You can either be a dinosaur and fight it and be one of those people that laughed at the email and things like that back in the day, or you can understand where we're heading and actually empower yourself by coming to understand how it works and be ahead of the curve, which is going to benefit you essentially in many ways, from how you build businesses. Obviously, there's financial, monetary incentive. There's many benefits of being ahead of the curve with technology. So again, something that I will be talking about a lot. Now, some other things I've been practicing are yoga and breath work. As I said, those relate to the healing aspects. Yoga has been really helpful for me as an anchor, like a way to start my day. It's a great way to wake up the body, get into the body. It incorporates breath automatically. And then it increases, strength, endurance, flexibility, mobility. It's just such a benefit-packed practice. The one thing that you can do starts off your day. It puts you in a great state of mind and makes your body much more capable to navigate the day, whatever you may be doing. And of course, breath work on its own has been one of those really profound and monumental modalities for me personally that I've been incorporating to not only heal from the many things that I've been going through, but again, just to help maintain when I'm feeling myself stressed or having a lot of emotional turmoil, subconscious, things coming up or whatever. And I'm even working on some practices that are sort of intuitive. I haven't read anywhere, but to try to go deeper and essentially reprogram my subconscious mind by using breath to induce like a more suggestive state, and then going into like self-talk and mantras and affirmations and things like that. Again, I'll definitely be covering that more as well. So let's talk about what I'm working on next. Obviously, it's been a while. This platform has been totally dormant for almost a year at this point. And so it's very important how I move forward. And the first and foremost intention of mine is to create consistent, high quality content in the form of videos, mostly obviously via here on YouTube and on the podcast platforms, but as well as consistency through social media posts and other different experimental forms of content as well. Subject-wise, I'm going to be revisiting some fundamentals, because I think it's really important, especially given the long hiatus. Let's get back to the basics. Let's revisit what are the most important things that we need to be working on, that we need to be thinking about and trying to incorporate into our understanding and into our consciousness. So I'm definitely, the next few episodes, as you see, I will be getting back to the basics and laying those fundamentals back down. Again, in my own way, personally, obviously, as well as with my most recent and evolved, I guess, developed version or understanding of these things as well. And then a little bit further down the road, I'm going to be revamping the website, probably simplifying it a lot, as I won't be featuring or utilizing any content or courses that were made with Brian or have Brian in them, essentially. So I'm going to be making that, and then eventually I will also remake a lot of the courses and packages and things, starting with the initiation package. So that's kind of like the two things I'll be working on in the mid to near term, I guess. Remaking the initiation package and redoing the website. So bringing this to a close, I want to share just some final thoughts here, because I think it's important to have a bit of a call to action. Now is the time to be doing the work. I mean, really doing the work. This is always relevant, but with each day that passes, as the agenda marches forward, we can clearly see it happening. Humanity is reaching the inflection point. It's time to quit fucking around and actually put the rubber to the road and start doing the work. If you've done some work, do more. Do it harder, and teach others. Step up and exhibit some leadership, because like it or not, many people are born to be followers. They will never choose to reclaim their own sovereignty. And so, worst case scenario, we give them a better example to follow than the psychopaths and the celebrities and false stars that they follow now. And as things progress, it's becoming more and more obvious what's happening. And even people you might not have ever imagined would have a certain level of awareness or acknowledge certain things, they're starting to acknowledge those things. They're starting to realize this is not sustainable, that a major course correction is required, or else we're absolutely fucked. And that's where we need to be there, already in place, already doing the work, not beginning along with them like, well, I guess it's time to... We need to already be doing the work, so that when the masses start turning, we're there to help show them the way. So we need to be learning skills, building businesses that actually solve real problems. Get over your issues with money. That's a big one, because you can act like it's all righteous and pious to live like a pauper, but you're going to have a really hard time influencing and creating change and even making good content if you don't have any resources. Remember, in the runes, the very first rune is Fehu. If you can't master acquiring material wealth and resources, you're not going to get very far at all. That's literally the first step. So get over that. And most importantly, we need to be going within, challenging your beliefs, changing your choices, changing your behavior, moving towards solutions. Observe yourself, observe your triggers, observe your reactions. Understand that it's better to respond than to react. This is the shift in consciousness, where you're acting from that higher place of understanding and you're rewiring the bad programming that you probably picked up from childhood or from some traumatic event, maybe even in your adult life, that you're not dealing with. And until you do, it's going to continue to run your ass around in circles, and you wonder why you're not getting anywhere or why your life still sucks. It's because you haven't taken responsibility for it. You can blame other people, you can blame the government and Klaus Schwab and whatever else all you fucking want. You're the only one that can change it. And if we all thought that way, these dickheads would have zero influence. I'm just telling you how it is right now. We need to be going deep, deep, deep into the healing at all levels. Psychological, physical, cleaning up your diet, quit eating toxic crap. Get the heavy metals out of your body that are reacting with the electromagnetic field and causing radiation sickness and giving you brain fog and all kinds. I mean, there's so many layers to it, and I realize that that's very overwhelming, really, when you start digging into it and realizing how many different ways we're being biologically hacked to have no energy, low cognitive abilities, no motivation to create change in the world, no motivation to learn and practice creative skills and use our fucking magic. This is the stuff that we need to be doing, the very shit that they are doing everything in their power to keep us from doing. Why do you think they put so much energy into keeping us down? It's because of our power, because of our potential. So this is the great work. It's not just about making content and talking about natural law and anarchy and stuff. Those things are very important, and we need to be doing that too. But if you are not going inward and doing the internal work, doing the shadow work, that is going to be tainting your creative ability in not only what you're putting out, but even just the basic factors of your own life circumstances. Believe me, that this is a natural law. If you're not being aware of those subconscious programs that are running, I guarantee you they're there. They are fucking up what you're creating. And you might think consciously you want your life to be a certain way, but you are very likely acting in some way that is in direct opposition to that, and you're not even aware of it because it's coming from subconscious programming that you're not working on. And this is, I mean, I'm speaking to myself 100% just as much as I'm trying to put that out there to you and encourage you to do this work, because it's all of our own responsibility. I can't do it for you. You can't do it for me. Nor should you want to. That's just not how it works. But if we're all doing that work together, then we can come together and actually encourage and lift each other up in that process. We can't do it for each other, but we can help each other do it on our own. It's a lot easier when you have good, real relationships that are built on those foundational principles. So that's what I wanted to say. That's what's been really on my heart and on my mind lately. I hope that resonated with you. If you did, please again like the video. Feel free to share it with your friends and maybe somebody else who needs to hear this message as well. So I can't tell you how excited I am to be back making content again. I've got a lot of ideas. I'm going to be lining up interviews. I also would like to work on starting to put out a live show maybe every week or something like that, but I'm still kind of working out the logistics of how that would work. If you have ideas for like content segments, things that would be good to feature on the show, by all means, let me know. I'm fully open to suggestions. And I would love to hear from you as well. What other topics would you like to see me cover, whether through interviews or just more short form content? Let me know in the comments. And if you have not already, please go follow the Wizard Factory on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and engage with a few posts to help reawaken that algorithm, as I'm going to be posting a lot more on those platforms as well. So that would really mean a lot to me. Thank you again, everyone, for watching, for still being here and sticking with me. I hope you'll continue to join me on this journey together as we strive for more spiritual growth and personal empowerment. I'll see you in the next episode. And until then, be empowered, be inspired, and be encouraged.